And I did that on yesterday, even before the snow hit. I went out there and I put me at least 4 pairs of socks, and I had my regular socks on. Then I put some gloves, and I put socks on my hands. It was extremely cold even yesterday, and so your face. Another thing too. I don't know if you know it. If you don't have face masks or scarf, you can have those masks that you wear on your face, and that's good because
I
they
got that
say
too.
that just a little bit of time out there in that weather can be damaging to your face. So that's a good thing to know about
I
your
got
face.
that. I got that too. But at the same time, I'm black, and I don't need y'all accidentally talking about y'all shot me. So that's just true to that. I got a face mask thing. I just don't want nobody. I'm just keeping it real. I,
Yeah.
I don't I
Well,
don't
you
care who
get shot
listening.
one way
I'm
or the
I'm
other.
black and I don't want y'all to shoot me, act like somebody trying to rob y'all, and I drive up with a better car than you do. But anyway, I digress. But you can have a nice warm cap on. What?
Oh,
I'm
I'm
just keeping
laying
it
hands
real.
on Pastor
Lay hands on
Canty.
whatever. Trying to help y'all out, boy.
Okay. But anyway, another thing too, real quick, Pastor Canty, before I put it over into Wake Up KC, because even though we're laughing and having fun, a lot of this is good information, you all. And sometimes it's just good to rekindle, even if you know it. Don't always think because you know it, everybody else knows it. It's good to talk about it. And sometimes reminders are good too, because sometimes it kind of slips our mind. Another good thing to do when you're at home and you're saying you're bored, you can go to the Dollar Tree or the dollar store and get you some book puzzles or some crayons and some puzzles, some word games, different things to do to keep your mind and give you some activity around the house so you won't be bored. Also, too, you can do some coloring and do some coloring with the kids as well as yourself. And those things you may not believe it, and buy some crayons and different things to paint. It can be fun activities while you're in the house and things to do, as well as the children, if you have young people in the house, as well as giving them activities, and sometimes taking them from all the technology. Even though they use the technology, sometimes it's good to pull them away from that and give them creative ideas as well as yourself. I enjoy playing with the puzzles. I enjoy playing with some of the books. I buy me um, math, subtraction, division. These things keep your mind alert. I like to keep my mind alert in my math and in my reading and stuff. So get a book you can read to the kids, or you can read to yourself. Another thing too to do is good, is fun if you have children. A good time to get in the kitchen and do some baking. We talk about birthdays and we talk about things. Bake some cakes and show them how to get into that kitchen and stir up some cakes. I remember when uh, uh, Nicole was little. Nicole
Look,
was
Nicole,
little.
yeah.
Yeah,
Was
I
in there
remember.
bacon.
Yeah, was in there baking, and she had a little cap on. These things are fun for them. Also, you're teaching them as they get older to have fun and enjoy getting in the kitchen and cooking. And this is a good time to do it because everybody's in the house and you can make it a fun family thing. Another good thing to do too is that you can have fun and activities with is calling people. Sometimes this is a good time when normally you don't have enough time to check on people that can't normally you hear from because you procrastinated or whatever. This is a good time to just call and let them know you're thinking about them. Yes, Pastor Canty. And so, anyway,
Send
it's
me
a
a
good
text
time.
message.
Text messaging, calling, whatever way you reach out to people, it's a good thing to do it. See, there you go. I'm gonna get you for that one. But anyway, anyway, y'all pray for me. And so anyway, but these are just good things to do. Have a little games. Sometimes you can play games with the family. This kind of brings the family a time where usually everybody's busy and going. This is fun activity while you're in the house and to keep you from being bored and also something to do. Then another thing too, your rest. It's a good time if you need to rest and get some rest and everything, and then just enjoy the relaxation. Um, if you can now, think of some of these things that you can do. And these things keep you also too alert. These things keep you healthy and safe off the street while they clean the street, because we do want to get out there. When we do get out there, we want to be safe. They say again tonight between 3 and 11, it's supposed to start snowing again. So you all, let's be safe. All right. That's all from Mama's table. And Mama wants to tell each and every one of you all, enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. Pastor Canty, Wake Up KC, I'm putting it in your hands.
Yep. never bored around here when you got the family. It's never a dull moment. I think we go once I take me a nap because I'm tired. Once I take me a nap this afternoon, play some laser tag in the house. Play some laser
Oh, I
tag.
like to play laser tag.
And you ain't played laser tag with us in a long
Oh
time.
no.
Gonna play some laser tag and make us some fried rice. So we already got a whole bunch of stuff lined out for the indoor activities. But
That's good.
on a lighter note, it is really good that you find time and find ways to spend time with your family, have fun, and entertain yourself. Dr. Canty, in the news, this just came in, and I was telling people that this was going to happen. So I just wanted y'all to this article from I want to say it was NSNBC News or whatnot, but the outlets are saying ICE says its officers can forcibly enter homes during immigration operations without judicial warrants. You knew this was coming, right? I just you knew that they can go in your home without a warrant. Okay, a May 2025 Internal Immigrations and Customs Enforcement document shows that the agency told officers and agents they can forcibly enter homes of people subject to deportation without a warrant signed by a judge. The memo dated May 12th, which reads that it is from ICE Acting Director Todd Lyons, uh, was shared with U.S. Senate Senator Richard Blumenthal, a Democrat in Connecticut, by two whistleblowers. It says that ICE agents are allowed to forcibly enter the home of a person using an administrative warrant if a judge has issued a final order of removal. Administrative warrants permit officers and agents to make arrests and are different from judicial warrants, which a judge or magistrate signs allowing entry into a home. Lyons notes in the document that detaining people in their residence based solely on administrative warrants is a change from past procedures. Although the
Mhm.
U.S. Department of Homeland Security, DHS, has not historically relied on administrative warrants alone to arrest aliens subject to final orders of removal in their place of residence, the DHS Office in General Counsel has recently determined that the U.S. Constitution, the Immigration and the Nationality Act, and the immigration regulations do not prohibit relying on administrative warrants for this purpose. The memo reads. The memo says that agents may arrest and detain aliens in their place of residence who are subject to a final order or removal issued by an immigration judge, the Board of Immigration Appeals, or U.S. District of Magistrate Judge. All right.
Mhm.
It goes on to talk more and more about the memo, things of that nature. But overall, just this ability to go into your home without the warrant. I find that having loose reins on an agency gives people power that they may disrespect. My thought is, Dr. Canty, is that this is how things happen when someone can say, "Oh, I came in here for one thing," but yet they do another thing, and this could be totally messy. There has to be structure and has to be order. Everything has a purpose. And so I'm not here bad mouthing those individuals that work for ICE. I'm not saying anything in the lines of what I feel or what I think. This is not the purpose of this. The purpose of this is if you come in people's house and no warrant, now there's an issue because there is a huge room for mistakes. And I'm gonna tell you, here's the mistake, and it's not hard to call out. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Um, I know a lot of brothers and sisters. When I talk about my brothers and sisters in Christ, I got a lot of white brothers and sisters in Christ. They more about it than my ethnic group of friends. I can't see that y'all make the mistake in busting their house and they not light you up with all the weapons they got. And so this poses an issue. I think we have to really think about what we're inviting because
Right.
there's no way. And if you do catch the right brothers and you just bust in the house and there's a such thing as having the wrong address. There's a such thing as mistaken identity.
Mm.
You just go up in anybody's house nowadays, people ain't having it. They're not having it. They hear a sound, they know it's the people they love is in their home, and then you talk about you ain't got no warrant. Dr. Canty, I guess my question is for someone who's protecting their home, and it is a mistake if you bust in their home and it's not the right person. Here's what we don't get facts on. We don't get all the stories when they bust in somebody's house and it was one house down or one digit wrong, right? And so you come in there and somebody give you back what you thought you was gonna give them, then we have a problem, and then this family shouldn't be executed because you did something in error. So that's why I think that you cannot have such loose constraints when you're talking about entering someone's home. And it's bad enough when they have the paperwork when they're wrong, but you don't have the paperwork right and you gonna do this. This is going to be a problem. Not going to be, it is a problem. Doc, what's your thoughts?
I think it's a problem, and we know that for a fact. And the reason why I say I think it's a problem, not only for ICE, but for anyone that does that. We found out ourselves just, I think it was last year, when the little boy going to
He knocked
pick
on the
up his
wrong
little
door.
brother in North Kansas City and got up on the wrong porch. And we don't hear much about whatever happened to that older man. I
Nothing.
guess they wait until he,
They're
gets
gonna let him live
extreme.
his life out and die. They never
Right,
do that to him.
and so they done quieted it down, but that was a mistake in, address, and sometimes people, and I've done it myself. Matter of fact, I did a crazy thing, going to try to take somebody a gift, and I thought I had the right house, and I was knocking on the door, and the door came open, and I thought they had opened the door, and I got ready to go in, and then some said, "Wait a minute, who's opening up the door?" Well, good thing I did do that, because come to find out, I was at the wrong house, and I could have stepped up in there. I don't know why the door came open, but I know it's the Lord telling me don't go in there. So I stepped back and I went back to the car, and
What?
that's when I called my daughter, my and son, them, because they lived up the street from them in the same housing development. And I asked, and I said, he said, "Well, okay, I'll come up there, mom." And I said, I asked him would he go back because I left the package there, thinking that I said, well, whoever was on the door. But then I said they never did come, so I got a little afraid to just enter. And then I thought about it. I said, oh my God, what if it's the wrong house? I done sent him up. So I called him back and I said, don't go up in there because I might have been at the wrong house. He said, you sure? I said, yes, I'm sure. You're a black man. The door open, and I don't want them thinking you were trying to break in. I said, don't. And so then pretty soon my daughter came, and come to find out I was at the wrong house. And so I say this to say you can't accidentally make a mistake unknowingly and get hurt, killed, or whatever. So even for ICE to do that or whatever, nowadays things are so tricky and so dangerous that you do have to be extra careful. It can happen as an accident, but even at the same time, people nowadays is really getting to be dangerous because you can lose your life.
Yes, and the story you just told has so many holes in it. You and me will talk offline. You are banned from delivering any packages from now on.
Oh
Insane.
no.
Insane. You cannot deliver any more packages. The
No,
door
I,
gonna open. You don't see who's at the door. That's how spooky movies happen. And you was
I
gonna walk
know, and it was
in.
cars in the driveway, but nobody never came. The door just opened,
The
and I
fact
thought,
that the door open, why would you step in? Why would you
I'm
step in?
thinking that
That
if
is
the door
not that
opens,
is not
somebody's
what
opening it
black
for me.
people do. Like I
I
don't
know,
understand.
and that's why I use
What
my common
movie have
sense.
you been watching that you
That's why I
step in the
use my
door,
common sense. Thank you, Jesus, and I did not go
but then you
in.
left the
I'm
gift?
just telling.
Then
I'm
you
just telling you, I'm at the door knocking. All of a sudden, the door opens, and I'm like, okay. And I'm looking for a person to say, well, hello, or something. They
uh,
didn't. The door just opened. So I'm like, well, am I supposed to come on in or what?
y'all,
And
this
then
is this
something
is this
said,
is a
don't do
common
that.
textbook, y'all, how the children have now become the parents of the parents. You are
I did
banned
not,
from
wait a
package
minute. I do
delivery.
not want you to
You are
think that
banned from package deliveries. All right.
no, I'm just telling you how things can happen freak sometimes.
No.
And you not expecting it. I was not expecting the door I'm knocking to just open up for me and then nobody
And
not
you
be
gonna
there.
walk in. You
I
gonna walk
did not.
in.
I said I start, and then I said, wait a minute,
How
where's
many
the people? I
boogeyman
said
movies we
hello.
see? They gonna walk in. What? Listen, yeah.
I'm thinking somebody. Okay, go ahead, Pastor Canty. You ain't. No, you are. I am not senile. I
I'm
was
done.
not gonna
I'm
do it.
done.
I'm just telling you
I'm
how
done.
sometimes unforeseen things can happen. And me going to the door thinking I was at the right house and knocking, I'm thinking maybe the people see me and just opened up the door for me to come in. But then my common sense kicked in, or I would say my intuition, God's intuition, said, don't do that. So I backed away from the door and I went back to the car and I was calling to say, are you letting me in? Your door just opened, but nobody answered. That's when I called my son and my daughter and let them know, am I at the right house? And I,
So this that's why I want the story to stop because you help improve my point. Because most people
no,
would have
I'm
been like,
not. No,
no,
I'm
no,
not.
seriously. Because most people would have been like, hello,
I
I'm
said that,
here.
Pastor
Hey
Canty. If you
y'all.
had, I
And then
said
don't hear
hello.
nothing. And then you step in there. Listen,
I did
that
step
is a
in. I
listen.
said I
I don't know
almost
what
did. I
movie
thought
script
somebody
you
had
trying
opened
to
up the
write.
door.
You are
Pastor
banned from
Canty,
package delivery. Let's
sometimes
move
people will
on.
come to the
Let's
door
move
and
on
let
because
you
you banned
in.
from package deliveries. You
No.
are. Yes, you are.
Anyway, Carmelita came up there and got me, and
I'm
we ended
glad
up
she
back.
did come get you. I'm glad she
Well,
did.
that's because I told Mark don't come because I got afraid for him. But me and Carmelita, we found out I was at the wrong house, and I was a block up instead of being a block down.
You're gonna have to give your locations from now on. Just
Oops.
we're gonna ban you from package delivery.
Not that's not. I'm not that fickle in the brain. I wouldn't,
Listen,
you know.
people in the comments are gonna tell you that I'm right. So that's why I said
People
let's
in the
move
comments,
on.
things
Let's
happen
move
every day.
on.
People are
Let's just move
unexpected. That
on.
doesn't
Let's
mean
just
that you're
move on.
fickle or make
You're
mistakes.
fine by
Common.
going to the wrong address. The moment the door opened and no one was there and you took a step, you messed up. It was in
I
that
didn't
moment.
take a step
Messed up.
inside. I said, hello. Nobody answered. And I said, my intuition kicked in and said, don't go in there. And I went back to the car, which is God.
Okay.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Lord.
All right. All right. We'll move on. We'll move on.
Mhm.
We hope that ICE, we hope that there's something that we can get in
I
front of
have
them
my
to
good
where
brains all the time.
you
Thank you,
do.
Jesus.
You do. No disagreements here. We we hope that people's homes, no whatever it's a government agency or not, that people are not getting their homes bombarded in. And so that's just something to think about, something to watch out for. And for us as a community and society, we're gonna have to be proactive on this. I especially think that Kansas City did a wonderful job being proactive about the the detainee centers, how they stepped in and been proactive. When you guys hear about laws or things coming up like this, the people have to be proactive before something happens and put things in place, whether it's a law or stop it or whatever. You have to do something before. So we're hoping that
Hmm.
this is a preemptive thing. That if we're hearing about uh, there's steps that can be skipped and people going to people's houses, we want to definitely get in front of that. And you have to get the citizens, the lawmakers, and your elected officials together. So more to come on that, everybody. Please stay tuned and look at that. Um, all right, Doc. I guess we'll jump right into tasty topics early. So we'll give the people what they want. You've been giving us great entertainment so far this morning.
Oh,
Your antics, but now it is time for tasty topics. That's right, tasty topics. The thing that gets you guys riled up and DM me if you're happy or mad. All right, tasty topics. Here's a tasty topic. Before I go into the topic, I do want to talk about this scenario that my wife was telling me about. So this is kind of on the line of tasty topic, but she was reading this article, and not only reading the article, but it also had a video. I don't know if this was scripted or not, but Dr. Canty, go with me. I'm going to paraphrase the scene. The scene is this: this man and this woman, they met online, and they were talking to one another to the point to where they decide to meet each other face to face, go on a date. When they got on the date, the lady showed up, uh, and they began early in the conversation about what they do for a living. Now, it's interesting. I would thought prior to a date, you would have had small talk, talked about careers, things like that, what you do for a living. That's why part of me thought that this might have been scripted. But even if it's scripted, I think it's good. This is a good scenario, even if they scripted
hmm.
this. He began to ask what she did for a living. She said she was a makeup artist, And then the guy said, you know, you're a makeup artist. You make less. He said I don't date women who makes less than $150,000 a year. He said I need my woman to be financially strong and that you can't make less than $150,000 a year. Therefore, I can't date you. And so the woman was offended, highly offended, and she said, well, you know, she said I have money. He said, but yeah, you're a makeup artist. That's not enough money for me. I'm not gonna align myself. Basically, he said I'm not gonna date you because he dates a higher caliber of woman. Then she said to him, she said, "Does your mama make $150,000 a year?" He said, "Why, yes, she does." He said, "My mom is a doctor." And so he
Mhm.
called his mom up on the date and said, "Hey, mom, I'm on a date with a young lady. She doesn't make, you know, the requirement of at least $150,000 a year." So his mom kind of said something like, you know, "Hey, that's okay. You know, that's not for you or whatnot. That's you have a standard or whatever." And so she ends up getting off the phone, and he was saying, "Hey, I'm not gonna date you. We can't go any further." And so she was then debating. She said, "Hey, I got money." So she pulls out a couple of dollars and he says, it's like $90. He says, you really don't have real money. He says, I'm not going to continue to go back and forth with you, but this is where we are. Um, and he said, you're giving me broke girl energy. And he was like, you giving broke energy. He says, I'm actually not broke though. You are. So she gets up and she leaves. Now, whether this was real or fake, I tend to think that it was fake. But the question was, it got everybody online chatting that the roles were reversed. This man put a criteria of salary on this young lady. Is salary requirements, is salary in monetary things, should that be even a part of a first date? A lot of people roasted him because he did this. Most of the time we see this coming from the other side where women saying this to men. Dr. Canty, how do you feel where this man has a salary requirement for the women that he would date?
I feel like if he's that kind of guy, I'd rather know it up front. And the reason why I say that is because he's actually telling you who he is by bringing that to you. Sometimes we want to hear what we want to hear, but when people do certain things, whether we like it or not, sometimes that's giving us a heads up with who we're getting involved with. So the mere fact that he brought that to the table on the first date, that had to be something that was a concern or telling what he was interested in. And if that's not your cup of tea, then you know right off from hand that's not the man or the woman for you. Now that's the way I see it. Uh, I
So,
think
so,
that
so what do you think about a man who has a salary requirement for a woman on a date, though? How do you feel about that?
how do I feel about a man that has a salary requirement
Yeah.
on the first day?
What's
I
it's
don't
really
think I don't think
he asked it, but what do you feel a man has put on you? You go out on a date. Cause I'm gonna be honest with you, when I went, man, this was a long time ago, but when I was out there in the market for a little bit, it was horrible, by the way. I had women run my title through Glassdoor and these other salary places, and she clocked my salary. It was the most vulnerable, rudest thing. And check this out. This wasn't no street chick, wasn't no stripper, nothing like that. The woman went to church, she was godly and all this and that. By the way, there was some of the just because you date somebody who go to church, I'm gonna be nice about it. Those were the ones that were the wildest ones.
you got Deacon Walker laughing.
I'm gonna let y'all know right now. All y'all talking about get you a good church girl. I listen. When I was single, and I mean I grew up in the church. Of course, you know. No. You stop the madness. You don't just assume because the church is a hospital. You might picked up a patient. All right. So I just want you to know. Yeah.
Deacon
The
Walker.
church or hospital and y'all you be done picked up a patient. You didn't get the doctor in that spiritual place or the nurse. Most of the time you picking up the patients there. And I tell you what, it was a lot of patients that I just had to roll that gurney down the hallway on. And so I'm just saying that I say that to say you're on a date. Cause as a man, this happened to me and they were spot on my money, spot on. Because the glass door people are people who are ex-employees or something like
Mhm.
that, and they put in what the earnings are. So they're not that far off. So how do you feel? Because again, it has been done to me before. So it was at a point in time where like when women like, hey, what do you do for a living? I just be like, man, I work at McDonald's. I wasn't even trying to hear it, man. I was like, I work at McDonald's. You don't seem like the type of guy that works at McDonald's. I was like, well, I mean, if you want to go any further and get to know me, I mean, maybe not. But that's how I was. I mean, I was just like, can't nobody be clocking me like that. Like that's rude. I ain't never clocked a woman like, oh, what you do for? I mean, I might ask you, oh, where do you work at? But I ain't going to glass door on yourself. I'm not going to glass door on some woman because her money is never going to be used for me anyway. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Maybe if we end up getting together and she feel like doing something nice for me on my birthday or something, but I ain't never clocked no woman's money. But again, it was the other way around. So how would you feel as a woman if somebody asked you about your earning on a date? Because it happens to men all the time.
I have no problem, Pastor Canty, saying that I am gainfully employed or something like that. But as far as clocking me and glass dooring me, that probably would be my last uh, date or opportunity with them because, you're really not getting to know me. And plus, my salary getting to know you. Yes, you want to make sure you're with somebody that is with some substance. I get that. And, and do work or don't have a problem getting a job or whatever. And so I get it because you just don't want to come home with any and everybody, and then you don't want to get too entangled with someone, and then to come find out they're not about anything. But as far as glass door them and whatever, I think I want a person that's really into wanting to know more about me and knowing about me. It's nothing wrong with knowing I'm a worker or I have a job or some form of income. I'm not against that, but I don't want that to be the criteria before we really get to even see if we jail together. And by that, when I say jail, I'm not talking about intimacy. I'm talking about really having something that we can communicate on, talk about, common interests, likes, dislikes, habits, doing things together, what you like to do. Do you like to go here? Do you like to go there? If you don't, kind of finding out more about me as a person and what I'm into or what you into to see if there's a connection, that kind of thing. Uh, Nowadays, you're not bringing just any and everybody home, no way, because a lot of times you don't want some of these people even know your address because you don't want to end up with some problems. So, anyway, basically,
I say this because I know you and I think everybody can be as open as they want to be, and then I just know the people out there who are listening. I'm gonna say this, for men, I think it's your best bet. Don't take your fanciest car on the first date. If you have multiple cars, take your least fanciest car. Go on a modest date, and don't flash luxury and riches to somebody because that's the only way you're going to figure out if this woman is really there for you. There is a way. I had to learn how to downplay myself during those years when I was out there in the market. And I say that to say so I can get genuine feedback about what is this interest. And then going to my house, no, nobody go to my house because folks is crazy. You not coming to like that. And I'm a dude. Mm-mm, mm-mm. I meet you there, homie. I meet you there, baby girl. I meet you there. But I think that it's really tough because there is something that women do that it's ugly when it's done to you. But you women, what you have done into this world, y'all ask for an emotionally sensitive or emotionally intelligent men now. It used to be a time where men really weren't in tune to emotional intellect and really dissecting what is happening to them. And so now, because you guys have wanted that, asked for that, be careful what you pray for. These guys are saying, wait a minute, you're clocking my dollars. How about I clock what you worth and what you're about? Let's see if you like that. And then men are also giving a second thought to where, because of all intents and purposes, a man could say, yeah, I got money, but what does it matter? Because a man could say, I know off the bat he can make assumptions and say you're going to be needy or independent of my money because you don't make that much money. So I want somebody where money that makes close to the amount of money, so money won't be an issue at all between you and I, and we can just get to know each other. But if I make a significant amount more money than you, and you make way lower than what I make, yes, it will be a point about money. It just will. So a man who has a lot of money probably is gonna say, "I'm gonna date another woman with money because I gotta see because the woman with money, she don't have to be with me. She can be with any man. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing." And a lot of men are starting to do that, whereas before, men didn't do that. So women, you've asked for this emotional, intelligent man, and really what it did was now you've taken the pull away. So women, I think women who don't make a lot of money deserve a man, no matter where he make a whole bunch of money or not. That people deserve good people in their lives. You deserve a good match. But because of the nonsense, and this is why I'm telling women this, you're hurting yourself. That man can make all kind of money in the world. So what? It don't matter if you are a older woman. It used to be a time where there were grown women that live with their parents still. You know, they could be helping their elderly parents. There's some grown men that help their elderly parents to live with them, whatever like that. You don't know the setup of the situation, and you can't assume what money they have or don't have. But because now money is such a big issue, right? And it's like a first date thing. Money gets in front of character now. That's crazy.
Mm.
Good character, you would think a person with a good work ethic or good character, it yields such things like that. Like a good character person is not going to use you or manipulate you because they're a good character person. Or a hardworking person may not make a whole lot of money, but a hardworking, responsible person can pay their bills. And that doesn't mean that they're going to rely on you just because you have more money, but their character is the response to that. And so that's why I'm saying that so many things now, Doc, are off balance because it's being led with these things that feminism and in this society that women are leading this charge where it's actually crippling women because there is no way, let me say this, Dr. Canty, there is no way a man should come to a woman and be like, well, you don't make this amount of money, so I don't want you. Man, if that's a good woman, if that's a good woman and she's loyal, supportive, committed, love the Lord, she's about you, y'all can build together. What difference does it make if she make $50 or $100,000? Because that's a you want character, you want quality of human being. But unfortunately, there's this perversion out here that character is not at the height of the pyramid or on the chart. It's somewhere in the middle to last. That's crazy. That's
But
just
Pastor Canty, another thing too, when you think about this stuff, but what happened to just really truly wanting to know an individual to the point where don't get me wrong, I know those things are essential, but it takes the fun out of I want to get to know you or I want you to get to know me. Let's do some stuff together, some fun things or whatever. Now, don't get me wrong. You don't want to, and I think because things have gotten so dangerous now, you do want to make sure you're hooking up with somebody of some substance. But I'm saying what happened to the joy of knowing a person as a human and them knowing you and having some laughs, some fun together, some enjoyment, doing some good things together uh, as people, being able to go out and say, oh, we had a great time today, or we had a good afternoon, or, and not even necessarily around lunch, just getting to know the person. I mean,
you tell me, if a man picked you up in a beat up pickup truck, do you go?
picked
If a
who up?
man picks you up in an old pickup truck, do you go? Do you go on the date because he has an old pickup truck?
Did he have the old pickup truck when I met him?
Yeah, let's just say this because
Okay, so I
that's
know
a
that
good
he's come.
question. Did he have the old pickup truck? Because
If
I'm gonna
he
tell
had the
you
old
what.
pickup truck when I met him, I know what he was coming up in, but it had to be another attraction
Does he
to
does he
let me
get does
look
he even get a
beyond the
date
pickup.
with you? Does he even get the date because he has an old pickup truck? Let's start right there. And I know the answer to this, Dr. K. Does this man get a date with you
Well, if you know the
if he has
answer
an
to it,
old
why you
pickup
asking
truck?
me?
Does he have a date with you if he has an old pickup truck?
Yeah, because he could have an old pickup truck and have another car. I
All
mean,
right, all right, all right, all right, all
it
right.
had to be something. Let me say this because you try to trap me up a lot of times. Uh, it had to be something for me to even be attracted to him, even with the old pickup truck, for him to think he gonna pick me up. Okay, I had to know a little bit because you're not just picking me up. I have to
Okay,
have
okay,
something.
okay. He has an old pickup truck, whether you pick him up or not, and you can be attracted to him. But he has an old pickup truck. Is that someone you're fine with dating? Like the pickup, like the car? Because I'm gonna tell y'all right now. I've heard women that in your age group, y'all say, I look at his shoes. Like, there's a lot of women, like me and my friends, we're in our 40s. There's a lot of women be like, I looked at his shoes. His shoes was dirty. I looked at his car. I didn't like his car. And y'all have told me in the past, y'all don't go if the shoes look jacked up or he got a bad car. And all I'm saying is, that's what I'm telling fellas. Fellas,
Well,
don't
I've
come
heard
in your
some men
luxury.
say that if a woman's car ain't clean, that sets a standard for them too. So sometimes people
If
who
a
have
woman's car
different
ain't
little
clean, that means she ain't got no man probably, because that man be cleaning that car. Listen, either she ain't got no man or she got it messy waiting on her man to clean up. You don't know. Maybe I think a woman who don't clean her car, a lot of women don't clean that car. I don't know why. A lot of y'all don't clean y'all car. Y'all just live in that thing. I mean,
well,
men
that ain't
men
true.
having a dirty car
Some
means more
women
than
have
a
cars
woman.
cleaner than men. But
A man having a dirty car speaks more volumes than a woman. It's just different. But again, back at the shoes. I have heard y'all talk about
I
cars and
wait a minute. I
shoes.
came up in doing, and I have to tell the truth about that.
Yes.
I came up during the time where they would there was a thing telling us to, if a man can't keep his shoes shine or keep his shoes up, that tells you a lot about the man. So it was a really good thing. Most men back in the day, in the earlier days, they used to get their shoes shined and buffed. That's where the shoe shine man came out. I don't see a lot of shoe shine men out now, but a lot of the older gentlemen, if you notice, that really know, they keep their shoes shined and buffed. That was just a thing back in our day. And sometimes your culture and the time and your environment makes you think a certain way and do a certain
Women are
thing.
like that today about the shoes too. Women are like that
Okay.
today. In
Well, I
my
don't
age,
know if they still
they're
keep it up,
about
but I know
shoes.
back in the day that used to be a thing. So, and you could tell by a man's shoes being shined. But I mean, some people look at the shoes now. Some people even look at, like, I have a friend, she's an attorney, and she goes out and she says, like, she always dresses for success. And so when she wears her red bottom, she said automatically she knows the kind of man she's gonna attract. Whereas if she just want to be casual, she might wear a loafer or something like that.
Them
But
red bottom women, they want a hood dude. To me,
not this lady. Wait a
everything you
minute.
think,
Wait a
everything
minute.
you
Just now, I
listen.
just
What do
told
I
you.
mean by that? What do I mean by that? Just because she got on red bottoms, don't mean that she gonna attract a rich man, right? If
It does
anything,
not mean, but I'm
no,
saying
no,
she's a
but you
classy
know what
lady.
she'll take? Because you know what I realize?
Not she will. Not she
If
will.
you're man enough to approach her and you got enough game, you can just tell. Listen, I want to tell people to tell the truth. You just tell that woman, I ain't got the kind of money you got, but I'm a good man to have fun and hang out with. And then that's gonna be the game. That listen, baby, I'm not gonna be buying them shoes, but you know what? We can have a good time. We can hang out. You get to know me. And fellas, if a woman does make more money than you, let me say this to fellas: don't be ashamed of trying to talk to her. Let her turn you down. Be a hunter. Some of you women, you're waiting on a rich man. But let me tell you something.
I'm not
That
saying
man,
that.
listen, I'm trying to help women get a man. He may not make as much money as you, but he is still a good man. Y'all
That
gonna
might be
be
true.
single for a long time if you're thinking, because the rich dude be like, I can buy you those shoes, but that don't mean you're gonna have my heart. You want the dude who has enough gumption to want to be with you and be committed to you.
If you had let me finish, and you're absolutely right in some instance of what you're saying. I was not saying because she had on red bottoms that she was trying to, she was just simply saying sometimes when you dress for success, and the type of men your dressing appearance draws to you too, a certain class of man. Some men know, she's out of my league. She's requires a lot of maintenance, and
Oh,
they
she's out of my league. That's what I'm saying. Y'all hurting
Wait,
yourselves
let
when I
me
say that.
say, let
Go
me
ahead.
finish. You always try
Go
to
ahead.
pimp
Go
my
ahead. Go ahead.
conversation.
Help these women stay single. Go
Sometimes
ahead.
the way a person, even with the man and women, you can tell somebody who has a good look, suit, very well groomed, whatever. You can kind of tell when some people have a certain amount of class to themselves. And it's not saying that um, he may not talk to you or whatever, but most of the time you can kind of get that air. And that's all she was saying. She was not saying that uh, she, would not pique interest, but she was simply saying certain type of ways when she leaves out of the house brings different type of attractions to her. And I believe that to be so to a certain extent, just like men. They know certain type of things. When you see a man in his little sports car or whatever, and well, he's really sending out a message what kind of women he's interested in. If he only got a two-seat car, he ain't looking for nobody with no kids. You can't put him nowhere in that car. And so therefore, uh he's letting I'm looking for me and my girl or me and my wife or whatever, you know. And so so certain things kind of give you a hint to who you're getting engaged up in or who you're getting involved with.
I'm gonna say this to men. Jermaine Dupri dated Janet Jackson.
Mm,
I felt that she was out of his league. But
yes.
also I say that as a symbol of what is out of your league. And men, I don't want you to feel like a successful woman is out of your league because no matter what amount of success she has, she needs someone who's sincere. She needs someone who will love her. She needs someone with character who will be loyal, honest, and committed. And far too often, I think women, I'm going to say this, Dr. Canty, women with money, and even women, and sometimes even women with some type of status or whatever, your status becomes so important that you're alienating your own self. Because there's a lot of women out here, a lot of y'all are single because if you have this air or this haughtiness that you are not approachable, because a lot of women are saying now men aren't approaching me. Are you approachable? And I know you don't want everyone to approach you, but also too,
Well,
you don't want to be this person that's saying, but I'm locking the door and
well,
I'm a forbidden fruit at the top of a pyramid. So I don't know.
well, I got to get this in real quick because we're coming up on 10 o'clock. Sorry, Pastor Kent. We always get into a nice, hot conversation right at the time. But I will say this a lot of things have added to a woman or a man being unapproachable. And a lot of it had to do with sexual harassment back during the day. So men had to be cautious about how they approach women and they got a little scared off. The same thing, women looking and trying to catch an eye of a man, but sometimes a man wouldn't give his eye because he didn't know if he was trying to set him up or not. But it's 10 o'clock, and we have to get on this conversation again. It was so good. It always gets real good at the 10 o'clock hour. But I'd like to say to each and every one of you all, thanks for being with us. Once again, we're on every Saturday from 9 to 10. Tell somebody about this beautiful time every Saturday from 9 to 10 at KUAW 98.5 on the FM side. Your knowledge, understanding, and wisdom with Deacon Walker, Pastor Canty, Wake Up KC, and Mama's Table. All right, I'm signing off, Pastor Canty. Don't be looking like that. Deacon Walker, you see what I have to deal with y'all. All right, goodbye. Love
You
y'all.
are banned from
Love
package
y'all. Love
deliveries.
y'all. Bye, Mama. Signing
Bye.
off. No talking about Mama when she says so. Bye.
No more package deliveries. Yeah. Anyway, you know good and well, Deacon Walker, and I mean it's transcending